find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're going to need to take a break. And if we could pause until we get up, as we're going to send you back.
These are the 5 most disturbing courtroom moments caught on camera.
No, we don't want to swear. We don't want to have profanity. I can't imagine.
This is Larry Nassar. He was the team doctor tied to USA Gymnastics, and he used that trusted position to exploit and sexually assault hundreds of young athletes under the disguise of treatment. The scandal exploded into public view in 2015, and what came out was horrifying. Investigators and victims described a pattern. Nassar repeatedly abused girls and young women for years, including elite gymnasts, while institutions around him failed to stop it. The scale of it, and how long it went on, shocked the entire sports world. In court, emotions reached a breaking point. One victim's father couldn't take it anymore and tried to attack Nassar right there in the courtroom.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
I have
Would
a
you
feeling.
do that?
That is not
Yes
how
or
our.
no?
No, sir, I can't.
Would you
do
give me
that.
1 minute?
You know that I can't do that. That's not how our legal system.
Well, I'm going to have to.
Officers rushed in, and even with multiple police trying to hold him back, the father kept fighting to get to Nassar. Not long after, he was removed from the courtroom.
You haven't lived through it, lady.
You cannot behave like this. This is letting him have this power over us, okay? She will come out and tell you this. I don't want to see another parent get arrested or put handcuffs on or a victim. We cannot behave like this. I understand Mr. Margrave's frustration, but you cannot do this.
Nassar's punishment ended up matching the damage he caused. On December 7, 2017, he was sentenced to 60 years in federal prison after pleading guilty on July 11, 2017, to child pornography and tampering with evidence. Then on January 24, 2018, he received 40 to 175 years in Michigan State Prison after pleading guilty to 7 counts of sexual assault in Ingham County. And on February 5, 2018, he was sentenced again 40 to 125 years in Michigan State Prison after pleading guilty to 3 more counts of sexual assault in Eaton County. Those sentences ensured he would never be free again, and the case forced a hard spotlight on how badly these athletes were failed and how urgently systems needed to change to prevent this from happening again. Now we move on from a predator teacher to a guy who kidnapped his own girlfriend. This is David Chiselton. In 2017, prosecutors say he held his girlfriend hostage at gunpoint inside the Miles Landing apartment complex in Warrensville Heights. After that, he set the building on fire, forcing dozens of families to flee their homes. The case ended with Chiselton pleading guilty to nearly 24 charges tied to the hostage situation and the arson. That alone was serious enough. But what happened next inside the Cuyahoga County courtroom stunned everyone. Chiselton, now 42, stood before a judge and was sentenced to 47 years in prison. Moments after the sentence was handed down, he suddenly turned and punched his own defense attorney, Aaron Brockler, in the head. Brockler later said the attack came without any warning. He had turned to speak to Chiselton about next steps when the punch landed before he could even finish his sentence.
Put that left hand behind your back like I asked you.
The incident raised major safety concerns. Brockler pointed out that Chiselton was handcuffed with his hands in front of his body, giving him full freedom to swing. Normally, inmates are restrained behind their backs during sentencing. court deputies quickly stepped in and restrained Chiselton. Cuyahoga County Administrative Judge John Russo later thanked the deputies for their fast response and called for a full review of courtroom safety procedures. Officials confirmed that Chiselton now faces additional charges for attacking his own lawyer, adding yet another violent act to an already disturbing case. Up next, we have a woman who fainted in court, literally. This is Diana Lovejoy. She lived in Carlsbad, California, and after her marriage to Greg Malvahill fell apart, the divorce turned ugly fast. A judge later ordered joint custody of their child and ruled that Diana had to pay Greg $20,000 for his share of the family home. Prosecutors say Diana didn't just take that decision badly, she took it personally, and she started plotting. According to investigators, Diana teamed up with her boyfriend, Weldon McDavid, and the plan was simple and terrifying: kill her ex-husband. Greg was later ambushed and shot in the torso. The bullet came dangerously close to his heart, but he survived.
Same title, same cause. Verdict.
In court, the evidence pointed straight back to Diana and McDavid, and when the verdict came in, Diana's reaction said everything. Within seconds of hearing the jury's decision, she appeared to faint, slumping forward toward the defense table in front of everyone.
Cause. Find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
All right, we're gonna need to take a break. And if we could have, also, gentlemen, get up, jury, we're gonna send you back.
The jury found Diana Lovejoy guilty of attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The room went quiet. Then you could hear her family crying out as deputies moved in. Diana was taken out of the courtroom after the fainting episode. Later, it was ruled that she had simply fainted. McDavid, the man who pulled the trigger, was sentenced to 50 years to life. Diana received 26 years to life in prison. Following this, we move on to a robber who couldn't keep his mouth shut, so they taped it.
Last year, the I-Team captured this exclusive video. Deputies in Cuyahoga County Court put tape over the mouth of Franklin Williams. He wouldn't shut up.
This is Franklin Williams. In Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, the 32-year-old was facing sentencing on 3 armed robbery charges. What should have been a routine hearing quickly turned into chaos.
I just met this attorney the other day.
That's fine. So
And I came and took my cell phones yesterday, and they came and took all my property out my cell today.
Mr. Williams, I'm the judge in the matter. Shut your mouth, and I'll tell you when you can talk. You got it? It's the same rules we played by while we were here in trial, every time we were here for a pretrial. So just follow the same rules. Fair enough?
For more than half an hour, Judge John Russo repeatedly warned Williams to stop talking, but Franklin wouldn't stay quiet. He talked over the judge, interrupted the courtroom, and even cut off his own attorneys while they were trying to help him. Every warning was ignored, and the situation kept getting worse instead of better.
If you spit on, attempt to bite, or injure any of my deputies,
None of that, man.
you're gonna have a bad day.
None of that.
Oh, you
Put the
clear.
tape on me, man. We done with this shit. It is what it is.
We'll go back on the record. Mr. Williams will have a chance to speak.
And I'll be monitoring everything I say.
Eventually, things spiraled so far out of control that the judge took an extreme step. Deputies were ordered to place red tape over Franklin's mouth to physically stop him from speaking. He was then forced to sit down. Even then, the attempt didn't fully work, and Williams still managed to make noise through the tape. The scene was shocking and bizarre, and once video of the moment surfaced, it spread quickly online and went viral around the world. The backlash was immediate. Not long after the incident, Judge Russo publicly expressed regret over how the situation was handled and ultimately withdrew himself from the case. And last but not least, we have an outburst so bad, it turned the whole courtroom into chaos.
Man, get me out of the car, man. I don't even want to be able to do this shit, man. This nigga's pussy, you don't stare at me, boy. You pussy, you pussy.
This is Dajour Maurice Hall. He's accused of being involved in a shooting inside a crowded nightclub in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And on paper, the charges are already extreme. Attempted murder, gun charges during a violent crime, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. And on top of that, Bowman police also tied him to a string of other shootings, including 9 more counts of attempted murder. But what made people stop and stare wasn't only the case file, it was Hall's behavior in court.
You started it, nigga.
Mr. Hall.
Ain't he do nothing to you. Fuck boy. Fuck boy. Man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Fuck boy. It ain't over with. You pussy, what? You pussy. You started it, pussy. You pussy. You got to go to home, you pussy. Give a fuck about that, boy. What?
Instead of showing any calm or understanding of how serious this was, Hall reportedly launched into a rant, loud, angry, and completely out of place for a courtroom. It wasn't a quick outburst. It was the kind of spiraling, hostile talking that makes the room feel unsafe, because you can tell the person in front of you isn't listening to anyone. Not the judge, not deputies, not even the reality of the charges.
I feel that this court should defer your bond to be set over in General Sessions Court as opposed to me setting it today, which means that you will be going before the General Session judge in order for that judge to set your bond. You understand me? So
yes, sir.
This particular time we're going to deny the bond on Mr. Hall. Thank you very much.
I don't need me standing here, man.
Investigators say the club shooting happened at Club Atlantis on Chestnut Street. When deputies arrived, they heard gunshots and followed a suspected car. They say the driver ran, and a man named Malcolm Simmons told them a stranger jumped into his truck at the scene and yelled at him to drive. Deputies later identified that stranger as Hall. One victim was hit several times and taken to a hospital. The sheriff called Hall a very dangerous individual with no regard for life. And after seeing his courtroom rant, it's easy to understand why people in that room took him seriously.